Hello, my friends, and welcome to the 2019 Street Sleeper Challenge. There was a vote lately on YouTube about the next challenge, and the winner vote was, of course, the 2019 Street Sleeper Challenge. If you are not familiar with the term sleeper, basically it's a boring stock car with an for example an LS swapped engine up front, or a Coyote, or a very powerful engine up front, while remaining the stock looks. As you can see, this is a great example, which is of course the Hollywood, which is of course the prize for the winner of this challenge. This car is from 1970s with its, I mean, old style chassis and body and comfy suspension, but it has an LS. This thing has an LS9 engine up front, the supercharged LS9 engine with, of course, the dual clutch gearbox from the modern Corvette, of course, which is absolutely awesome. And look at the results. This thing is a tire smoking machine, which still looks like it was rolled off the factory in 1970s. Look at that. It looks absolutely beautiful. It's still super comfortable. It's absolutely amazing. And when you put your foot hard down, it will just fly. It will destroy basically any car. I mean, next to it, a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, anything, it will destroy it in a straight line or even around corners. But of course, around corners, it will smoke the tires. Anyway, the winner of this challenge, of course, will receive a special copy of this car so he can enjoy it in his, of course, BeamNG.drive. All right, so the rules for this challenge are pretty simple. The first and the most important rule is, of course, the production year. It should be, of course, 2019. The next rule, which is of course the body type, the allowed body type. You can choose absolutely any body type you want: pickup, SUV, four-door sedan, a hatchback, anything, absolutely anything you want. The next bit is the body year, because I'm gonna allow bodies from 1960s and up. Yes, my friends, 1960 and up. You can choose absolutely any body style from back then all the way to the modern ones. The next one is the chassis. You can choose absolutely any chassis except no semi-space frame chassis, because a sleeper basically is a second-hand used car that a cool fan bought. Used car. It's a used car, so you can't really find a basic production boring car with a space frame chassis. No, you can't find that. That's why I'm gonna allow absolutely anybody, any chassis type, but no semi-space frame. Moving on, the materials, you can use absolutely every material except no fiberglass and no glued aluminium, and of course no carbon fiber. These three are not allowed. Moving on to the engine, you can choose absolutely any real engine, any real production engine only. No racing engines. And to make it even simpler, also no bike engines, because on my previous live stream, on my last night for live stream, someone suggested that I should allow bike engines, like those Ducatis or Kawasaki, four cylinders or whatever engines. No, these will be absolutely, I mean, they are good for sleeper cars, for like small smart cars. I've seen some videos on YouTube, but no, they are difficult to make an automation game, and I'm not really an expert or familiar with bike engines. So let's skip that. Let's just remain with any real production engine you want. Anyone, Mercedes, BMW, Chevrolet, Ford, anything, any real production engine you want. And as I've mentioned, no racing engines and no bike engines. You can choose 98 octane fuel only, and no race intake, please. Only standard and performance. Race intake, no, I'm not gonna allow that because it will create problems, and I really don't have time to talk about them. But yes, no race intake. Mufflers are required, and also catalytic converters are also required, because you need to register the car. This is not just a racing car. No, it's gonna be a normal car. It needs to be a normal car that you can drive on the streets. So you need to register the car, at your local DMV or at the government, of course. So you need to have catalytic converters and mufflers. But of course, there are no loud limits. So it's up to you. But you need to use at least one muffler, at least. Now, this is a very important bit, which is of course the quality on this engine, because if you're planning to make an LS engine, for example, with of course overhead valve system, it will be an absolute pain in the back to use that system and to get the perfect horsepower and torque as the real engine, because you need of course to get the real horsepower out of or out of the engine that you have chosen. Don't, for example, pick for example a Ford Crown Victoria engine like a 4.6 liter V8 and then make it produce 500 horsepower. That's not correct. I'm gonna disqualify the car if you do that, because as we all know, the Crown Victoria is producing 200 horsepower. So if you choose any engine, any engine, for example an LS engine, you need to make absolutely the correct horsepower and torque of that engine. Don't tune it. Make it as stock as possible, according to the specs that you will be finding on Google, of course. So that's the engine done. Now the quality, as I've mentioned, you can choose +5 quality only on the engine alone. You can choose absolutely on every part of the engine +5 quality, just to help you to get the correct horsepower and torque. Yes, my friends, only on the engine you can go +5 quality on any part you want on the engine. Now the next bit is of course the gearbox. The gearbox, you can choose any gearbox you want. The differential, you can choose absolutely any differential you want, any drive type you want, and all that is just allowed. The next one is the tires. You can choose absolutely any tire option you want, except no semi-slick tires, and of course no carbon fiber rims. The next bit is the brakes. You can choose absolutely any brake type you want, drums, discs, it's up to you, with of course 4% maximum brake fading, no more than 4% brake fading. The next bit is of course the aerodynamics. You can choose absolutely any aerodynamic option you want, any under tray you want, except of course the engine cooling needs to be 50 at least, because 50, that's the default, to make your engine to run normally without overheating. So 50 at least for the engine cooling. Brake airflow, it's up to you. If you want to cool your brakes, you can go any percentage or any point you want. If you don't want to use that, you can just put it on 0. It's up to you, my friend. Moving on is the seat arrangement. You can choose at least 2 seats. That's the minimum, at least 2 seats, and the maximum amount, it's up to you. Any seats arrangement you want, but minimum is 2 seats only. Now the interior, my friend, your interior needs to be. I know that some of you will say sleeper cars, they don't have interior. Basically, they will rip off every panel, every carpet, everything. No, that's not correct. I've seen many videos on YouTube, like people love their sleeper cars to keep them as stock as possible. Stock seats, stock stereo, stock headline, carpets, everything remains stock, and that's what I want to see here. So you can choose absolutely any interior option you want, except no basic, and of course for the entertainment system, no none. So no basic and no none for the interior, and of course the entertainment system, both of them. Let's see what else. Yes, now the next bit is of course the power steering. The power steering, my friend, it's required, because yes, you need to use power steering to keep it as stock as possible. Some people actually disable power steering. They will run manual steering. In real life you can do that, but in automation game, just keep it. But you can choose any option you want, electric or hydraulic. It's up to you, my friend. Let's see. The next bit is the traction aids. You can choose at least ABS. That's at least ABS. If you want to use traction control or electronic stability control, it's up to you. But I'm not gonna use those. But minimum, go ABS. That's the minimum thing. Safety is of course it's required, because as I've mentioned, you need to register the car. So yeah, safety is required. You need to go at least basic, but don't choose the non option. Now the last bit when it comes to parts is the suspension. You can choose absolutely any suspension you want, but try to keep it as stock as possible, and that means don't choose racing suspension. Don't give me a sedan, for example, with a 6.3 liter AMG and racing suspension. It will get disqualified immediately, because the car needs to be comfortable. I'm not kidding. The car needs to be comfortable, sporty, safe, drivable, and all that nonsense. So don't give me a racing, say, racing suspension, with extremely hard springs and extremely hard dampers, I'm not gonna accept that. It will get disqualified even if the car is from heaven. No, I'm not gonna allow that. So give me a proper normal suspension. I mean, if you want to go a little bit sporty, you can go a little bit sporty, but you need to have a decent amount of comfort. Don't give me, for example, I mean, five points on comfort. It will get disqualified, or 10 points. That's not realistic. Give me something for, I mean, at least 15 or 20 at least, to call it a real car. Yes, my friends. All right, now we are done with all of the parts. Now let's talk about the total category points. Oh no, sorry. Before the total category points, the car price, because on the latest automation game, automation version, the developers, I don't know why did they do that, but they have disabled the margin system and the total price on the market cap. They have disabled that, and they have replaced it with a material cost. So the car price, or the, as they call it, material cost, it needs to be $13,500 max. That's your maximum amount of money allowed, of course, to make that car. 13,500, 13K and a half, dollars max. That's the amount. That's the maximum allowed, material cost or car cost, which you can find it, of course, in the material, on the market tab. Now, the next bit is the car production units, the maximum car production units and engineering time. So the production unit needs to be 110 points max, and the car engineering time, or ET, it needs to be 115 max. Those are the limits, my friend. Don't go above them, because if you go above them, the whole car will get disqualified. Any one of those rules, if you break one of those rules, the whole car will get disqualified. So take your time, plan your car, don't rush it. Plan the engine, what kind of engine you want, what kind of drive type you want. Is it an SUV? Is it a pickup truck? Is it a a sedan, a hatchback? So yeah, don't rush your creation. Take your time, my friend, because you have a full week of time to create your car and submit it on Discord. Now, when you submit your car on Discord, when you submit your .car file from Automation Game, please tell me the total category points when you submit it on Discord. Let me give you an example. You need to write, for example, hello, this is my car for the challenge, and my TCP, or total production unit, total production points, is blah blah blah, like this. For example, 250, 150, and whatever. You need to tell me that when you submit your car on Discord. If you don't do that, the whole car will get disqualified, because I'm gonna take the top 20 cars when it comes to the total category points, and of course test them in the testing video. Only the top 20 cars. So you need to make sure that your car has the highest total category points, the highest one. Go as high as possible, my friend. And if you're wondering how to calculate your total category points, well, it's simple, because in this challenge I'm gonna use only 7 categories. Remember those: drivability, sport, comfort, prestige, safety, reliability, and practicality. No eco. No, only those 7 category points. No eco. Remember that. When you make your car an automation game, you will get some sort of points in each category. Add them all together, and you will get a number. That number is your total category points, which will determine if your car is in the testing video or not. And please make sure your car looks absolutely breathtaking to look at and as realistic as possible. You need to use headlights, taillights, vents, grills, wipers, badging, indicators, side mirrors, all these things to make your car as real as possible. And of course, as I've mentioned before, you have a full week to make your car and submit it on Discord the day this video is on. You have 7 days, my friend, to make your car, and of course to submit it on Discord, because and you can submit it on the link in the description below, because today is Saturday 20th. You have all the way to the 27th of April, 6 p.m. plus 3 GMT time. So again, don't rush your creation, my friends. So let me give you a little tip on how to make a beautiful looking car while remaining, boring and as stock as possible. Search online for some Volvo wagons, some Toyota boring cars from the 90s, early 2000s, search for some American class, boring SUVs or pickups or vans. Go if you want to search some 80s family cars, 80s family wagons, 70s land yachts, wagons. All these things will be absolutely perfect for a sleeper car. A very, very stock looking car from the 90s or 70s with a boring engine, and you need to replace that boring engine with something exciting like an LS engine, a Ford Coyote, an RB engine. I mean, it's not really possible in an automation game because there are no turbos for inline engines. So you need to make sure that automation game can actually support that engine. Don't make an engine that automation game doesn't support. Make sure it's perfect, my friend. So that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope that you will enjoy creating your masterpiece. And again, take your time, don't rush your creation, and I will see you within a week, my friend. So of course, hit that thumbs up, get subscribed, share the video if you want to share it, and of course, I will see you in a week, as I've mentioned. If you have any question, of course, you can ask me on Discord, the link in the description below, or of course, you can ask me on Instagram, Snapchat, wherever. All these things are in the description below also. So of course, don't forget to check out my Patreon page. Again, the link in the description below if you want to download this car, the Hollywood LS9, or if you want to download the V16 Queen or the Project X car, which is of course the fastest car that I have ever created in the automation game. All these cars are in the link in the description below for my Patreon page. And of course, we have t-shirts, we have mugs, we have aprons, phone cases. All that is also on my BN shop if you want to purchase that. Also the link in the description below. Thank you so much guys for watching. I will see you very, very soon. Don't forget to watch my previous videos over here, and of course get subscribed over here, and I will see you very, very soon, my friends, with more special videos. And goodbye for now, my friends.